Okay, good morning. It's Thursday, August 6th, and we are starting with math. We're in our volume 1 book, not the one that says homework and remembering at the top, the one that's blank. This is what we use for classwork. You are going to, on page 17, I'd like you to cut out only your 5s, the purple, and you can cut these out by columns, and then I'd like you to start studying your multiplication, okay? So 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15. All right, so you'll be studying only the purples. Go ahead and leave the 2s, 9s, and 10s. All right, then you're also completing page 21 today, and we're going to be practicing making drawings to solve problems. The drawings that you're going to be making are going to be arrays, the same thing that we did yesterday, which use rows and columns, okay? So your directions say make a drawing for each problem, label your drawing with the multiplication equation, and then write the answer to the problem. The clarinet section of the band marched in 6 rows with 2 clarinet players on each row. How many clarinet players were there in all? So there's 6 rows. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they said there's 2 players in each row. Okay, so I have 6 and 6, and I know that 6 and 6 is 12, and this is 6 times 2. So now we're going into our 2's, you guys, okay? All right, so it says, does it want us to write the equation? Label your drawing with the multiplication equation and then write the answer to the problem. So we're just going to write the product. The product is 12, right? And these are rows and these are columns. All right, you need to show this amount of work, you guys, okay? I am going to be calling for a grade tomorrow, asking you guys to turn in a picture of one of your assignments, and you showing your answer is not going to be sufficient. You have to show your work. All right, so now we're done with this book. We're going to go into our homework and remembering. Homework and remembering at the top, and we are doing page 10 and 12 today. So page 10. All right, and we're practicing our 5s on page 10. So remembering that the asterisk or the star also means multiplication, so does the dot, right? So 1 times 5 is 5. You can do the rest of those alone. Write a multiplication equation to find the total number. So I'm not going to do this one for you because there's only one problem for you to do here. But if there are 2 groups, you're going to have what number times 2? Okay, so you just fill in the other factor. How about that? All right. And then don't forget your product, okay? With number 8, it says how many sides. So we know that there are 3 sides in each triangle. How many triangles are there and what does it equal? Okay, so those are some hints that should help you. Number 10 says Miles had 24 baseball cards. He wants to display the cards in even rows and columns. Draw 2 different arrays to show how Miles could display his cards, and label your drawing with a multiplication equation. All right, and then you're also going to complete page 12. You can use this page also to help you study your 5s times tables. We're looking at page 12. Okay, and in page 12, I only want you to do the multiplication problems. So don't worry, when you see this symbol, the division problem, you don't need to do any division problems, only the multiplication. All right, so what I'll do is I'll actually highlight the ones you want to do. So you want to do 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 18, 20, and 21. Those are the ones that you're doing, okay? So again, I know that 5 times 6, I'm just going to skip count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5 times 6 is 30, which then also means that 6 times 5 is 30, okay? All right, you should be able to figure out the rest alone. Again, you don't do the division problems. All right, and that's all you'll do here. Please make sure you go into IXL and you're doing the yellow stars in IXL. Okay, at this time we're moving on to writing, and we're going to be working on paragraph 3. I was able to see quite a few of your work yesterday, which was awesome. Very proud of the progress that you guys are making with your writing. So yesterday I did my detail 1, which was my goal was to stay on schedule daily. And now I'm going to do detail 2, which is paragraph 3, and I'm going to use the transition next. So it would be good for you to add the word next to your pre-writing as your transition. And we're going on to paragraph 3. So here we go. What was my main idea? I want to learn new things. And a few of you guys had that as your goals yesterday when we had our Zoom session and talk. So I'm going to write, I'm skipping lines and I'm indenting next. I want to learn new things this skipping lines year. This is a goal I set every school. Now I'm going to turn pages and making sure I'm turning one page, you guys, okay? Okay, I'm forgetting what I ended with, so I need to go back and check. That sentence said, this is a goal. Oh, look, I put is, and we'll be able to fix that when we do editing. So, but I'm glad I caught that. So this is a goal I set every school year. And then this is a second grade skill. Use the word because I love to learn. Now, in your Google Classroom, it actually says that you have to make one of your sentences in this paragraph a question, because we are studying statements versus questions in language arts. So what could be a question that I would integrate in here? Let's see. I'm going to reread my paragraph. That's always a good strategy. So next, I want to learn new things this school year. This is a goal I set every school year because I love to learn. Who wouldn't want to go to school and learn new things? And that's a question, okay? So now I'm done with paragraph 3. And tomorrow we'll work on 4. So if you were in my class last year, you can see we're kind of moving in a little bit of a slower pace. That's because not everybody was in our class last year, right? So we have to get people accustomed to the same style of writing that we used last year. But if you were in my class last year, we're adding some new elements to our writing. For example, you adding questions to your writing, that's new this year, okay? Now, I'm going to highlight my paragraph in yellow because it's the same color code as the pre-writing. If you want to write more about your goals with this particular detail, you can. But again, we learned last year that a paragraph is at least 3 sentences. So I have 1, 2, 3, and the question does count as a sentence. I can keep going talking about what else I want to learn. Like maybe I will learn about, or things that I would love to learn about this year are, and then list out those things that you want to learn about this year. That would actually be, you know what, maybe I am going to do that. Actually, I'm going to write that, yeah. So how to multiply and divide this year. There we go. All right. So now, again, it's my rough draft. So you should know your rough draft, you're going to make mistakes. That's actually what a rough draft is for. This is where we kind of do our sloppy copy. This is where we do our editing and our revising. This is where we're allowed to misspell words. We just want to get our ideas down on paper. That's our main intent of our rough draft, okay? So tomorrow we'll come back and we'll finish our detail 3, you guys. All right, but don't have this notebook go too far because we're going to be using it for social studies in just a minute. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side for a moment. So I'm going to put my crayon up because I'm done with that. And now we're moving on to language arts. In language arts, you are using your practice workbook for California Treasures. I need it to adjust. It's blurry. Why is it blurry? Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, good. Now we want to, in this book, we're going to turn to page 20. We're going to read the directions because I'm adding something I need you to do to this, okay? That's not written on here. It's number 1 says, please read the following passage. Sean and Kathy were on the basketball court. Cindy was flying a kite in the field. Sitting under a tree, John, LaToya, and Abe ate their lunch. Underline one sentence. Now write 2 more sentences about that sentence. So you're continuing practicing with your writing, okay? So here they give you an example. The sentence they underlined was this one. Cindy was flying a kite in the field. Cindy was flying a kite in the field. She held onto the string as tight as she could and ran in a zigzag back and forth on the grass. As she ran, she giggled so loudly that everyone could hear her from across the field. So you're taking any sentence and you're elaborating on that sentence, okay? The other piece that I want you to do is I want you to add a question because this is our skill we're working on in language arts. So how can I add a question to this paragraph? Cindy was flying a kite in the field. She held onto the string as tight as she could and ran in a zigzag back and forth on the grass. As she ran, she giggled so loudly that everyone could hear her from across the field. Why was she giggling? There's my question. She laughed because she was so happy. All right, so in this case, we ended up adding 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences, which is great. You definitely have enough lines to do that. You're required to add 2 more sentences. One needs to be a question. Okay? All right, because again, we're practicing that language arts, so we want to make sure we really get that skill down. All right, so we're going to close that. Now we're going on to science. So you're going to do a few things in science today. Pay close attention to which books I have. I don't have the interactive. I have the study notebook. I want you to turn to page 3. Today you're going to cut your words out and you're going to study your vocabulary. So you can have somebody take your cards and just quiz you on what word goes with which definition, okay? And put those in a safe place. The other thing that you're doing today is you're going to do page 7. Now, how do I fill this in? It's just a blank graphic organizer. But look what it says. It says, use with page 7 of your textbook. Complete the graphic organizer after reading page 7. So in your science textbook, this is my teacher's manuals, but your cover looks exactly the same. You're going to turn to page 7, okay? And here you are given, let me try to get all that teacher talk out of the way. You don't need all that. You are given a description of what, if I can get it to clear out a little bit. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So it gives you definitions of what a main idea and a detail is. You all already know this because we're working on this in writing. the main idea is in green, the details are in yellow. You can label this picture the same way, the graphic organizer in your workbook. So it says, to find the topic of a paragraph, ask who or what the paragraph is about. To find the main idea in a paragraph, ask what is the one important idea that all the sentences tell about. To find supporting details in a paragraph, ask which sentences give information that supports the main idea. So we're going to read about heating our homes because this relates to energy. And then we're going to come back after we read that paragraph and we're going to fill in what we believe to be the main idea and the three details. Now, just like we do with writing, I would also highly recommend, just because this is going to get it retained in your mind more, get your green and get your yellow crayons. Your green should be main idea, just like the stoplights, you guys. Outline it. Okay? Your yellow, because this is where we're going to slow down and talk about the main idea more, are your details. So go ahead and outline your colors. Okay, you guys can do the rest of that. I'm not going to do that right now. All right, so if I'm reading this paragraph, it says energy heats your home. The energy comes from fuel that is burned. If you don't need me to read this to you, just skip this over, you guys, and you can do it on your own. So I'm going to start over. I'm sorry. Energy heats your home. The energy comes from fuel that is burned. Some people heat their home with natural gas. Some people burn wood to heat their homes. Other people use electricity. The electricity company burns coal to make electricity. Gas, coal, and wood are natural resources. They come from the earth. So I'm going to give you a major hint here, you guys. Main ideas are most often found in the very first sentence. This is your main idea. Energy heats your home. Okay? That's what you're going to fill in. Now, talk to me about what your details are as far as energy heating your home. Okay? That's all you're doing in science, and you're studying those vocabulary words. Now we're going to go over to social studies. And for social studies, you need to go back to your writing notebooks. Okay, and I'm going to be posting pictures today. But you should be going to the same page in your social studies notebook that you did your vocabulary on Tuesday. And you should not have taken up that whole page. So what you can do is you can draw a cute little squiggly line. You can make it colorful. Just separate your vocabulary. This is something we're going to do every week. Oh, I'm using Christmas colors. We're going to have our vocabulary words at the top and our sentences at the bottom. Okay, you guys? So now I'm going to write the word sentences. And this is sort of like what we would do with spelling last year for homework. And I'm going to number the same amount of spaces that I have for vocabulary words. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And now I'm going to use each word in a sentence. So if I know a citizen is a member of a community, I'm going to say being a good citizen is important for the community. And then I'm going to underline my vocabulary word. Okay? All right. Good job. And then so you'll do the next two sentences there. And I believe today is our social studies day. Okay, so we're done with social studies. The last thing I need you guys to make sure you're doing is your gratitude calendar. I had to go back and fill in some because I hadn't been doing it for a few days. But I've got it back with me, and I'm going to make sure I'm doing it every day and including it in our videos. So on Sunday, I went to Oakland and saw a lot of really beautiful art. That was something I was grateful for. Monday, excuse me, I spent some time organizing, which was really nice. Tuesday, I was able to, what did I do Tuesday? I watched a movie that I liked. And then yesterday, what did I do yesterday that I was grateful for? I got my nails done. They look a lot better. So I am gonna say that I got my nails done. That's something that I did that I was grateful for. I got my nails done. Finally. Okay, so make sure that you are keeping up with your gratitude journal. This is just a great way for us to make sure that we are looking at something every day in our lives that makes us happy and grateful to be alive, you guys. Okay, so make sure you are getting outside today. Make sure you do something around the house, help your family, and please be kind to your brothers and sisters. I'll see you at our Zoom. Bye.